What's up, my comic book brothers and my comic book sisters from another mister? Today we're going to talk about the dying industry of comics and what to proudly expect going forward, because we do really need to talk about this. Brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. In order to determine where this is going forward, we have to take a look at this thing back into the future.
You've got to come back with me.
And by the way, I do love that movie. That movie is a classic.
Back to the future.
But you know what I mean. We got to do a little history here. The origins of the comic book industry began almost a century ago in the 1930s and took the world by storm when the first original Superman issue was released by DC Comics. Thanks to enthusiastic fanatics, it quickly became a part of pop culture during the time of World War II, where talking animals and superheroes were in the spotlight. After the 1970s, the Bronze Age of comics began, which is when underground comics appeared for the first time, addressing new aesthetic themes and followed a new distribution model. There was a time when comic books were sold at newsstands alongside mainstream publications of magazines, articles, and newspapers, but that changed in the early 1980s when periodical comics disappeared from these newsstands. The new company, Diamond, founded in 1982, distributed nearly all comic books from publishers large and small to retail shops around the country in what came to be known as a direct market system. Thus, after which the vast majority of comic books were sold through independently owned retail comic shops. With the digital revolution gripping the entire globe, comics now have to compete with incredibly immersive video games, virtual reality, and countless mobile apps that allow you to read webcomics, online or offline, not to mention social media and even online fan fiction. Let's not forget selling feet pics too. I mean, just kidding, or am I? Anyways, this culture has certainly evolved to higher modern levels, but is it enough to keep the mania revolving around the industry alive? David Steinberger, the former CEO of Amazon's digital graphic novel service called Comixology, in an interview with the New York Comic Con conference in 2018, he said that a major reason the comic book industry is suffering a negative impact because of the rise of on-demand streaming services, which is making people get addicted to binge-watching consumption mentality. I mean, I may have my opinions on that, but he's a former CEO for a reason. The comic industry struggles to keep up with this lifestyle and structure of the current generation because comic books are periodical in nature and each issue requires time, effort, and patience to be released into the market. Not to mention, sometimes you got to know the previous storylines to understand them too. But more on that later. Sales of print single-issue monthly comics have been on a decline for quite some time now. The sales in 2020 saw a 19.7% decline for single print issues. Although the decrease in sales can be attributed to the pandemic, the overall trend for print issues has been downward for the better part of the decade. One of the things that caused a drop in sales of comic books is the quality. Some were printing cheap comics, I'm not going to say names here, but some were printing cheap comics with ink that was getting stuck on people's fingers and selling it for $4. Now, investing in comic books as a financial strategy, on the other hand, can be lucrative. It requires knowledge, skill, experience, and a bit of luck because a tweak can change everything, which people may or may not be willing to spend time on, as most comics are worthless solely because of the sheer volume that are printed and put into circulation. Feel free to check out the video we made on making a Wall Street bet on comic book investing. Can I retire off of comic book investing? Link in description. You might find some nuggets in there or two. Or three. It's undeniable that the years of comic book sales and profits have remained stagnant for far longer than we expected. Before I go any further, if you're liking the content so far, you know what to do. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. We do comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway on this channel. Now, back into the content. So let's answer the question. Is the comic book industry dying? Not the way I see it. Comic book sales, including graphic novels, single issues, and digital comics, hit over $2 billion in 2021, and we're not even finished with 2022 yet, and a 62% increase from the previous year, and a 70% increase over 2019. And that's according to a report released by the comic sales research website, Comitron. I believe comics are shifting into more graphic novels and contain stories. I'm going to use myself as an example. In 2020, man, I could give a damn about comics.
How dare you!
Until I was asked to do a comic book review of King in Black. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely dug the comic. And I'm a casual, moviegoer, so I know a little bit about the heroes, but nothing like in a comic book level intellect. What I noticed with Marvel and DC is some of the events are circulatory, and character deaths and sometimes events don't have long-lasting effects. I mean, I can see the big picture now. They got merchandise to sell, movies to make, and that cash cow has to keep mooing their way to the bank. Plus, sometimes you have to know previous storylines to understand the new issues. I believe because of that, it resulted in the independent market exploding. What I notice is most casual fans are hardcore fans of the big two, Marvel and DC, before becoming fans of indie comics. It happened with me, and I've noticed that as well with, talking to folks at Comic-Con as well. But comment below, let me know your thoughts on that. You see, indie stories have a beginning, middle, and end compared to constant rebooting of DC and Marvel with all these number ones and volumes. I don't even know what freaking volume we're on.
Killing me with this.
Media companies have took notice as well of indie comics, and some of your favorite shows and films were adapted from indie comics. And more that are in the production pipeline are adapted from indie comics too. Not to mention, when I went to San Diego Comic-Con, it was good seeing all the people out and about. Not to mention all those anime girls and cosplays too. But that's another topic, Like I said, I don't believe the industry is dying or dead. When a new film or show comes out, based on comics at least, that could get one curious about the source material it came from. Not to mention the amount of money invested for the production too. What I haven't noticed, and you can comment below and let me know if I'm incorrect about it, I haven't seen much effort into getting new reader/casual fans into comics. I could be wrong, but let me know your thoughts on that. Perhaps channels like Rated Comics can help for those that are watching this video. While we're at it, since you are watching the video, don't forget to check out RatedComics.com for some amazing Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. We also have other cool comics on our site to get into as well. So in conclusion, the industry isn't dying, it's shifting into more graphic novels and contained stories. And I'm excited to see where this industry is going to go. Not to mention it better not die, because I want to see this channel grow, and I hope you do too. And I'd like you to shift your thumbs onto the subscribe button and shift again by hitting the bell notification. That is the end of this video. What you guys think of this video? Comment below, let me know. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.